Well, hello, Pridemore. I just started this broadcast not even 1 minute ago. Is my audio coming through okay? I know there's a delay between when your comment shows up. That takes about I don't know 30 seconds, maybe a minute between when you do a comment and it shows up on my screen. Oh, you actually got a notification? Wow! I didn't realize that my notifications actually worked. That's good. The sound's coming in. Hey, fishing on. How you doing? All right, all right. So, have either one of you had a fish tank with green water that was just a major problem, and it just did not seem like anything that you did helped? I had, and I know I haven't put videos out, but I had a tank with green water for months, and I've been trying all these little things, um, trying to help clean it up. No green water here. Well, that could be a good or bad thing. I don't mind so much green water. I still have one green water tank, but I've lots of plants. Lights. Yes, it is great for fry. Um, but my one tank that I did not want to have green water had green water, the 29 gallon, and like I said, up until this week, I mean, it was a heavy green water. You could only see about 1, maybe 2 inches into the tank. And you couldn't see anything past that. And I have plants planted in there. I have floating plants, duckweed, frogbit, um, hornwort. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Um, Trying to uh, stabilize the tank. Usually when I've had a good amount of plants and they start thriving, green water cannot take over no matter what you do. And I even took samples of that green water and I stuck it into my healthy tanks, and it would just dissipate. Nothing ever happened. It would just disappear. Um, what kind of substrate do I have? I have dirted tanks. Okay, so it's dirt with a sand cap. Um, in my 60-gallon tank, I never had a problem with green water. It turned kind of green for about a week, and it went away. I've got plants in that tank and stuff. Not a big deal. And I had another tank that, unfortunately, with a bacteria outbreak, a very nasty bacteria that just killed everything that went into that tank. I had to tear it down. I don't know how it got in there. I don't know whether it was came in on a fish or not. But I tore it down. I threw the substrate and everything in there. It just went away. Okay, so um, but the reason why I kind of just wanted to bring this up is most people will say, well, go buy a bottle of this chemical or that chemical or whatever and dose it in your tank and you'll get rid of your green water. Um, the only real chemicals that I will add to my tanks is like fertilizer, iron, liquid carbon, um, to help the tank out. After that, I really don't like to do it. I do have some medications that I do keep. Uh, um, it's it's there for an emergency if I start seeing something like an ick outbreak or a bacteria or a fungal infection. Um, but that tank that I had that had a really bad outbreak, medications did not help it. That tank just went south fast. I don't know what it was. I don't have a microscope, so I couldn't do cultures and identify it. But I found um, something that actually cleared up that green water that you couldn't see it an inch or two into the tank very fast. And I mean 4 days. And it's not as controversial as adding something like Algae Fix, I think it's called, or I don't know who makes Algae Fix. I think it's called Algae Fix or something like that. It's not a chemical like that. And I've been waiting to try it because I was trying to see if I couldn't get the plants to do it, but the algae outbreak was so bad that it was just suffocating the other plants. In fact, more than half the plants in that tank died because they couldn't get the amount of light they needed. The algae in the water was just too much. No matter how many water changes I did, how much of a water change I did, the algae in that tank would just overcome it within 1 day. The water might start to look like it clear up for 1 day. The next day, it was just thick again. Does anybody have a guess what I used to get rid of green water in 4 days? And I only did one thing. And I already told you, it's not a chemical out of a bottle. I didn't put bleach in there. I didn't put Algae Fix in there. In fact, throughout this whole time, fish have been living in the tank. Nope. I even tried a light out. No light. Didn't work. In fact, I got another tank. I actually took a sample of this green water and filled up my 10-gallon tank, and I've got another tank with green water living in it on purpose because I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to just get rid of it. I want to see maybe if I can simulate it again because, just because it works once doesn't mean it will always work. Now, I got rid of green water in another tank by blasting it with light, and literally the plants and the algae just, from what I gathered, okay, this isn't totally scientific, but what I gathered, it just burned itself out. It just ate up all the nutrients, and the algae in the water died, but the rest of the plants that had roots into the dirt survived. And after that, green water couldn't take over anymore because the other plants in the tank kept the nutrients out of the water. They were using it too fast, and so green water couldn't take over. But fishing on, that's a pretty good guess. I've heard about covering a tank, making sure that it can't get any light, can kill green water. But I think I think doing that. This now, I am going to an opinion-based remark here. Now, remember that's an opinion. Um, I think covering a tank or a lights out on a green water tank will never truly work long term because you're not getting rid of what's causing the green water. Um, Green water has to have something for it to grow and thrive. Just by getting rid of the light, once you get the light back, you have the chance of the green water coming back. And during my last experiment this past week, I really should have taken a video, but I've been really busy at the hospital, um, and I know I've been trying to put out some videos, and I haven't done it lately. But um, I I think I have found an easy solution to getting rid of green water when it is a big problem. And I mean big. I mean, like I said, covering it, lights out, nothing worked. And I have a few places on the internet because I kind of went through the internet saying, okay, hey, what have people done? And it's usually the same thing over and over and over. Lights out, cover the tank, don't let any light in for like 3 or 4 days. But I don't find, I mean, my tank really didn't get any light for the days that I literally unplugged the light. So the timer was off. I mean, it couldn't come on. There was barely any light in that room. Definitely not enough light, for plants to survive. But when I got to thinking about, hey, there's got to be a lot of nutrients in this water for this algae bloom in the water to exist. My thought went to, how can I take all the nutrients and stuff out of the water without hurting the tank, without killing the fish, or hurting the other plants which have roots into the substrate. Now, I know the frog bit and the duckweed don't have roots into the frog bit. Neither does the hornwort. But they can survive a while before, anything will happen. No more guesses, or did my chat freeze up? I don't know. Last chat that I see still is from Fish On that says, Fishing On, excuse me, says cover it. No clue, huh? Well, I almost hate to admit what I did because it's one thing that uh, pet stores kind of want to. Oh, they'll sell you a lot of stuff, but this is sold in such minute quantities, usually for your fish tank, that it wouldn't help. And it's pretty much in any setup that you'll get if you buy a setup out of a PetSmart or Petco or any other big fish store. There's a little bit. I didn't do a little bit. I did a lot of it. I know. I'm delaying telling you. Oh, Fish On, you gotta go. Well, I better reveal it before you leave, Fish On. I hope you're still here. Okay. So I have, and I've stored it. I haven't been using it, but I have a bulk container of activated carbon. So I took one of my little bags. Uh, I don't know. It's about 8 inches by 3 inches. Okay, and I put about 3/4 of a cup of activated carbon in that bag, and then I just set the bag on my hang on back filter that I have my pothos growing in, and carbon. The activated carbon removes all kinds of stuff out of the water. Killed the green water. I mean, it killed it. I've seen a huge improvement on day two. The second, after one day, not much. Second day, no. I was like, I wonder if this is actually helping or not. Day three, it was like, whoa. It was like half of it was gone. I can see halfway through the tank, and today is day 4. And I can see all the way through the tank. In fact, I can see out the back glass. And this is on a 29-gallon tank. So I hope, Fishon, I hope you heard me talk about that. But yeah, I bought the activated carbon. I forget what size. It's a pretty good size off Amazon for like, I don't know, $5. It just comes in what looks like an old style milk carton. Oh, that paper carton that you rip open the sides and then the lip comes out, and so you can pour it out or whatever. And I just poured some in that little filter sock, and then I stuck it in the hang on back, and let's see what happens. And yeah, now the water has a little bit of haziness to it right now, but like I said, this is only day 4. The third day, I mean, I was just flabbergasted. And then the 4th day today, seeing all the way through that tank, I was shocked. I was like, I didn't know how well it would work, how long it would take to work, or anything. But activated carbon, takes a lot of stuff out of the water. And so I was just like, I wonder if it'll take enough out of the water to kill that. And it did. And so far, all my other plants seem to be okay. I mean, why wouldn't they be, really? I mean, I'm not adding a chemical. I'm just taking the nutrients out of the water column. So, just another one of my little experiments that, unfortunately, I forgot to grab my camera and document, hey, here's what I'm doing, because I don't know, I didn't think about it. I should have, took a 30-second video every day showing the progress of the tank. Sometimes you do an experiment and you forget to document it, the steps that, and then how it progresses every day. I'd almost like to take that back out, reintroduce a bunch of green water in the tank, see if I couldn't get it to really bloom again and do it all over. But the other plants have been suffering so much in that tank that this is the first time that they're actually getting real light down there, all the way down to the substrate. So it says I have 3 people watching. Now I got to get some mollies back in the tank. See if I can't get them to continue breeding. Those mollies have an appetite. You can't seem to feed them enough. They're very, very friendly fish. I'll stick my finger in the water and they'll come up and rub against my finger, and kind of nice. I'd like to get the Dalmatians breeding. Oh, the mollies, I have 2 different kinds. One they're solid black mollies, and the other ones are Dalmatian mollies. I really like the Dalmatian mollies. They're my favorite. they're actually a little bigger than the black mullies, and the dorsal fin is a lot longer. What I mean by longer, not tall, but it extends back further, almost all the way to the tail fin on some of them. Especially the male. I have one male Dalmatian Molly, and it goes all the way back to within maybe less than a quarter, well, about an eighth of an inch to its tail fin. And he's got, when he turns just right, the white looks like he's blue. So he looks like he's blue and black instead of white and black. And then he'll turn again, and he looks like any other Dalmatian Molly, and it's like, he's a very pretty fish. Not too aggressive. Likes to pester all the female fish, though. But I guess then, how else do you get fry, huh? I don't know how many exactly I have a fry, but I counted 8 fry up there today. I think they're all the solid black, though. I don't think there's any Dalmatian fry. But I want to take the small 10-gallon tank and set it up so that way I can transfer fry out to try to keep them fed without the other fish eating up all the food. I noticed that my fry actually really like to eat krill flake. I got some krill flake from Extreme, what's it called, Extreme Fish Food or whatever, or just Extreme. But I kind of get a pinch of that flake, and then I, kind of grind it up with my fingers, drop it in the tank, and they like eating that. And of course, baby fry also like to eat algae. But I need to do another video on my black marble angelfish. It's getting big. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Bad time to have hiccups. But my angelfish is living peacefully with my big goldfish, with Pig and that, or the other 3. Ooh, Endlers, huh? I thought about doing an Endler tank. That's exciting. I like Endlers. But I noticed, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that my local fish store had a couple more black marble angelfish, and I almost bought them. My plans are to buy some more. I don't know if I'll breed any, but yeah, that black marble angelfish, very fast, but so far hasn't been too aggressive. Everybody warned me that, it'll kill the goldfish. It'll kill the goldfish. Nope. In fact, the pecking order of that fish tank really hasn't changed. That my big goldfish, the pure white one that I call Pig, is still the dominant fish in that tank. Cross endlers? Let's see. Cross endlers. I've heard of that. I wonder if I've seen cross endlers or not. Fishroom fever. That sounds familiar. But I think I have one of my fish I'm going to have to get rid of. It's a not really a Chinese algae eater. It's a little bit different. Oh, the angelfish is probably about 6 months old. Almost, like I said, almost full grown. When I got it, it was pretty small. It was probably, if I remember, maybe about 2 inches. Well, it's about like this tall now. about as tall as pig is long. Pig is about 8 inches long. Yeah, I've had that goldfish. Oh, no, I'd really have to go back and check, but I want to say, well, it's female. I want to say she's probably about 8 years old, still healthy. If I feed her too much, she starts laying eggs, and there's three males in that tank. Not a good combination. One female and three males drive her nuts. I can't. She can't. She doesn't lay eggs normally. She runs because there are four males after her, and so she just she doesn't like lay the eggs normally. She ends up laying eggs while she's trying to run around the tank, and they get splattered everywhere. Usually, half of them end up on the lid and drying out. Yeah, I know they can be aggressive. The angelfish, that is. But these common comet goldfish, when they're small, they're very timid. But as they get bigger and older, they have actually become more aggressive. I've found out that they don't go so well with smaller goldfish because they will bite at them, and so I think that's one of the reasons why the angelfish there's not been any problems because pig has put the angelfish in its place a couple of times. So I mean they get along, but if they ever start fighting, pig always wins, and it doesn't take very long. So
I need to drive some stores so I can buy more chocolate.
but yeah, well, for a long time I've always wanted an angelfish tank, and I think the angelfish I haven't done my research, all the research yet, but from what I can tell, I think it's a female, and so I wouldn't mind getting a male. And there's plenty of room in a 60-gallon tank. Um, but I kind of put it off because of, like what you said, Pridemore, that they can get aggressive. But the goldfish pretty much have the side of the tank that they normally hang out on. And the angelfish, I don't know, it's everywhere in that tank. I have, back to that Chinese algae eater. It's I need to go do my research again. It's not really a Chinese algae eater. Um, it's a little different strain, but it's a golden, and the markings are, the body shapes are the same as the stripes and the pattern on it. That when I found it, I went like, oh, it's not actually a Chinese algae eater, but there's one in that tank that has really grew in size and just become the dominant one, and I think it has killed two other of my algae eaters, and so I might end up taking it to my local fish store and donating it. Um, they've got some tanks that have more aggressive fish that can handle its aggression level because it's getting so aggressive that I think it's trying to become the top fish in that tank. Um, like I said, it's getting really aggressive. So I'm thinking about maybe tonight trying to catch it and put it in the a little mesh breeder box that I have hanging on the side that I've been keeping some plants in. Mainly betas. How you doing? So I got a question. I mean, mainly betas. You haven't been in here. Have you ever had a green water tank that you had to get rid of green water, and how did you do it? Most of my life, I have not had to deal with green water tanks. In fact, this was the first one that you know simple little things that I've done my whole life did not work. I think I know what was keeping it. Water changes and lights off. Yep, did not work for me. Mainly betas. I mean, I'm not mad that it didn't work. Oh, some Bristlenose plecos, yeah. I've got some plants that my local fish store said that they'd buy off me, and I asked if they'd give me in-store credit instead, and they said absolutely. I mean, I've got a bunch of uh, jungle vow that I have grown that needs to get harvested and taken out of a tank. Yeah, mainly betas. I tried lights off, everything. It did not work. Like I said, I'm not mad that this happened. I was actually kind of intrigued that the water changes and everything was not working. I was like, wow, there's something that's keeping this uh, algae growing. Um, yeah, exactly. There's something feeding the algae. I stopped. I stopped in putting in my fertilizers and everything else that I was putting in there for my plants. I put in a bunch of, I grew a bunch of duckweed. I grew a bunch of frog bit, and it covered the surface, everything, and it still was growing that green algae. You could not see an inch or two into the tank. I think it was about an inch, maybe 2 inches, but you could not see anything past 2 inches. It was really bad. Um, I mean, the tank wasn't bad. I mean, it had fish in it. Fish, I mean, fish fry were growing. Everything, snails, everything's living. But a lot of the plants that I had planted in the substrate, I would say probably half of them died away. Um, so I got to thinking that I won't use chemicals. CPC, how you doing? I don't didn't want to add chemicals into the tank. I mean, I got a lot of recommendations for chemicals. I got a lot of recommendations for lights out. Yes, I unplugged my light. Where the tank was at, it got almost no light. Okay, the tank just looked black because there was just no light around there when I had lights out. Days, days, and when I finally turned the light on, no change. Still just as green. Um, and my thinking was, okay, what can I do to get rid of whatever it is in the water to kill the algae bloom? And I thought about it. Got to wrap the tank. I've heard that too. That was suggested too. And I know somebody else that had this exact same problem. They wrapped the tank in black uh, trash bags, taped it all up, sealed it. You couldn't see anything. The room had I mean, it's in the bedroom, so the lights weren't even on, except for a little bit when we went to bed or when we woke up, and then that was it. But the other thing is if that would have worked, here's the thing: you wouldn't be solving the actual problem that's causing the green algae. You'd be killing the green algae, but it can come right back because what you said, there's something in the water that is feeding the green algae. So how do you deal with what's in the water to get rid of the green algae? Lights out isn't going to change that. Um, I had another tank, my first green algae tank that I got, I actually did the exact opposite. I did like 14, 15 hours a day of light, blasting it with light, had other plants in there. The other plants eventually uh, started growing and overtook the green algae. The green algae died away and it never came back. Okay, that didn't work in this tank. There was something that was feeding it way too heavy, even with the whole top covered with frog bit and duckweed, with a huge. I mean, the hornwort was growing like crazy. It still could not overtake the green water. So there, I mean, it was really, really feeding it the algae. And my substrate, it's a dirted tank, so I have dirt with a sand cap, and it was first at 3 inch sand cap, and then I moved to 4 inch sand cap, and it still didn't change anything. No, not a lot of fish in the tank. There was 29 gallon. It started out. It had eight eight mollies. Okay, and then eventually there was a couple fry in there, but that was all the fish there were. I ended up taking out the fish except for 5 fry. Okay, little tiny fry, a little bigger than a grain of rice. Okay, left them in there. Couldn't catch them, so I left them in there. I'm like, yeah, they'll live. Um, yeah, but I went ahead and added that extra inch to make up 4 inches of sand because I wanted to make sure it wasn't the dirt leaching out. I mean, the dirt will leach some out into the water. The thicker the sand cap, the slower that leach will be. Um, so what I ended up doing was adding something that is common to every new uh, fish hobbyist. Only I did it in a lot bigger quantity. I'll give you one more guess and then I'll reveal it. I've revealed it once, but it was kind of interesting because I thought long and hard. How could I get rid of the stuff out of the water without chemicals? Uh, I figured there's got to be some kind of nutrients in there really just feeding this water. I started out with like 25% water changes. Then I did like 50% water changes, and then I was doing like 75 to 90% water changes. The water would look better because I added new water that wasn't green, but then a day later it was just thick as it was before I even changed it. Any guesses? Mainly betas. You don't like the algae side? No. Yeah, I don't like that either. I'm not going to add a chemical in there. Those chemicals are nasty. Claim they won't hurt the fish, but no, they will hurt other plant life and they will hurt fish. I agree. I don't care what they say. It will hurt them. Just because they don't die doesn't mean that they weren't hurt. All right. That's like saying I can cut off your arm. You won't die, but it didn't hurt you. No, that's not buying it. Okay, so I took a filter sock and I bought bulk uh, activated charcoal. I've had for a long time. Okay, well, I shouldn't say a long time. I've had it for about, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, something like that. I've kept it around for when I needed it. Mainly it was going to be for the 60-gallon tank if I had to help remove something out of there like a medication. If I had to medicate the tank and then had to get rid of it, I could throw a filter sock into my filter. But I poured about 3/4 of a cup into the filter sock, and then I just put the filter sock in the hang-on back filter on the back of the tank. 4 days, it's gone. After one day, no change. After 2 days, no change. The third day, I was like, whoa. I mean, it was amazing. I could see halfway through the tank. Today's day 4. I can see all the way through the tank. In fact, I can see out the back glass. And obviously, it's activated charcoal. The fish are just fine. They're swimming around. In fact, I just fed them 30 minutes ago. Well, longer than that. I've been on here for 41 minutes now. I fed them an hour ago. And they're doing just fine. My snails are still living. My plants are still alive. And I didn't put algaecide in it. I didn't put algae fix in it. I didn't put any chemical like that in there. So I'm wondering if I can repeat this. If I can get another green water tank going. I mean, going really good to where, if I do water changes and stuff like that, it's not going to get rid of it. I want to be careful because I did take out some of this water a month or so ago, put it in a 10-gallon tank, and I've been keeping the green water alive. I've got some snails and some fish in there and some floating plants, plenty of light, and it's still nice and green and thick. And I don't want to lose the culture of green water that I've got. I'd like to keep it. Never could get it to last. Now, mainly betas. Here's something. I'm thinking that one of the keys is why I was having such a big problem is because I've got ram's horn snails, and I also got some common pond snails that I wanted to start breeding so I could feed to my goldfish. My goldfish actually really like to eat pond snails. And I'm wondering if, with all those snails, the waste from them, all the snail poop, was what was keeping the green algae really going. Now, I still have some snails in that other tank because it's going to be really hard to get rid of all of them. But I took a lot of them out and I transferred it over into that 10-gallon tank that I wanted to keep the green water alive. And so far, it's still going really heavily. I don't know that I have a lot of pond snails. When I was upstairs, I think I counted in the 29-gallon. Okay, and these are small baby snails. I took out all the big ones probably a month ago. I want to say maybe just a couple dozen little tiny baby ones right now. I got one giant. Well, compared to when I got him, he's a giant ram's horn now. He's about 3/4 of an inch across. So I think between the pond snails, maybe with the dirted substrate and everything like that, and the pond snails just eating away at all the frog bit. They are all over the frog bit. They love eating frog bit. I hear a very loud car. Sorry if that's really annoying. I don't know how loud it is for you, but anyway, um, those pond snails, I think probably were not more of a bio load than the mollies, but I suspect that the snails were eating so much and pooping so much that was probably what was doing it. Oh, your frog bit died. when the weather warms up, I'm supposed to be shipping out some frog bit to Catfish Terry. I've got a bunch of it right now, but they won't survive the shipping in this temperature right now. I'll purposely let mine grow out, and I'm just trying to keep it trimmed back enough that I can still ship off a bunch to him and keep my frog bit that really loves to have nutrients in the water column. Now, Pridemore, are you using any kind of activated charcoal in your fish tank with the frog bit? Because I know that will starve frog bit. Because it's a water column feeder. I know that I have been starving my water column this week because I noticed the duckweed is very sensitive to it, and the duckweed is not doing well in that 29-gallon tank. A couple of days, it's such a small plant that it can't survive like that, So I think probably tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and take that activated charcoal out and just put it in the bowl. It's not used up. I put enough in there to run in my 60-gallon tank for several months. I put it in that 29-gallon tank. But, yeah, it was kind of a fascinating little experiment that, I had a fish tank, and how can I overcome this dramatic problem that every once in a while you'll see it on, posts and threads out on the internet, or you might hear somebody that's having problems. And I bought this, what I consider a giant container. I don't know, it might be like a pound of activated charcoal off Amazon for like $5. I think it's from Tetra. It's bulk. Okay, so you have to have some kind of filter sock or something to put it in. And it doesn't come with it. And so it's not very expensive, really, in my opinion, off Amazon for like $5. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try, Now, there are some other brands out there that are more expensive, but you can find it in a lot of stores and everything. Oh, it was pretty dead when you got it. Yeah. Frog bit, once it starts dying, it's hard to salvage. It's usually the amount that I got now that if I start seeing one die or something, I just yank it out because there's so many others in there that keep wanting to grow more and more and more. I'm always seeing new runners and new ones coming out. I've literally had one that, with all the leaves, I'm not kidding you, I took it out of the tank, one plant, and it had leaves going everywhere, and it was about this big around, with all the leaves shooting out from the center everywhere. And then it had like multiple runners going off with new plants that it was growing. I've had my fair share of problem with plants too. I've had to keep trying, but now that I've got several plants that are just thriving. I lost one of my favorite plants because of this green algae, which I had some corkscrew valve, and I think it's done. I'm going to try something, one last thing to see if I can't save it, but I had it in that green water tank, and the leaves look yellow. I don't know if the roots are still alive, but I'm gonna leave the roots in there for a while. The worst thing that can happen is the roots will become fertilizer down in the substrate, but hopefully I'm gonna try to maybe reach down in there with my hands, get my fingers around it and try to bring it up a little bit, because after adding that extra sand, I think it might be a little too deep, but it was dead before I did that. Well, I shouldn't say it was dead. It looked dead, the leaves. But if the roots are still alive, if they can get one shoot up, one new leaf, it'll survive. Patrick, how you doing? I've had some pretty good luck with my jungle vow Pridemore. If you ever get some jungle vow, you know, it takes a little bit for the roots to get set in, but once the plant gets set in, it will start growing like crazy. It took a little while. It took longer than for me. It took a longer than a lot of other people said that they a week or two, and it started growing like crazy. It took over a month before mine actually really got roots set in. Yeah, but once it did that, man, it just started growing like crazy. It started sending out runners everywhere. Yeah, I know. I got plants that I forget the names of them too, but I finally got my jungle vow in the 60-gallon tank to actually get its roots set in. It's now putting off new plants and growing quicker than the than the goldfish can eat it back. So there's one side of the tank now that's actually got some cover, some nice green cover that's hiding the heater and the intake for the canister filter. Yes, hat trick. Well, we were talking about green algae tanks, and I've had a kind of a long running experiment with the worst green algae tank that I've ever had in my life. I've had a green water tank here and there, and I was able to solve it in a couple of weeks. No big deal. But yeah, everything that I've done in the past, that trick did not work on this green algae tank. Lights out, frog bit, duckweed everywhere, covering the whole top of the tank. Nothing worked. And I could do the long, drawn out, question, hat trick, or I don't know. I don't know if I should call you Joey or hat trick, but anyway, about what it took to get rid of my green water. But yeah, in the past, I could always do like duckweed and, really just choke out the green algae or the green water. Well, it is green algae, but and my tank would be great, but it didn't work for this tank. And I let that go for months doing that, and it didn't kill it. And I got to thinking, call you Joey. It's just it's kind of weird because well, it's not Joey, but Joe is my middle name. Stephen the biologist. Hello, hello, hello. But anyway, so after dealing with this for months, I was kind of intrigued. I was really trying. There for a little bit, I was kind of disheartened. It's like, oh, I want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. But I kept thinking, hey, this is a great opportunity to try things to get rid of green water and not add chemicals to do it. A lot of the things like lights out, you're not solving the problem. You can kill the green algae because it doesn't have light, but it can come right back because why is a green algae there in the first place? There is something in the water column that is feeding it. And that's why mine was so bad. It was really feeding it. Oh, should I tease Stephen the biologist a little bit? Is that what you want me to do, Joey? Stephen the biologist. Okay, I'm going to give Stephen the biologist one chance at answering this. Okay, so the worst green algae tank I've ever had in my life. In fact, I've only read about tanks like this where all the common suggestions did not work. Okay, and I tried them, and I guess that's why I didn't document this because I had tried so many things. I got tired of documenting it and it not working. Document it and it didn't work. So I could see 1, maybe 2 inches of the tank. It was that thick. It was bad. 29-gallon tank. I tried lights out. It didn't make a change in how the tank looked. 4 days, no lights. The room has almost no light in the room when you have all the lights off. And too much food? No, no, because I even took the fish out except for a couple fry, and I barely fed the tank. I mean, there was only 5 fry in there. I didn't have to put very much food in there. Um, but yes, it was super green water. My thought was, what can I put in? What can I do? Okay, I refuse to put chemicals in it. No algae fix, no algae side, nothing. I did not do any of that. I solved it in 4 days. My thought was there's something that is feeding it. There's something in the water column because that's the only way green algae survives like this. Now, I've had it for months. All right, I tried other plants, really got them going. I mean, the duckweed, the frog bit was just growing like mad, covered the entire surface of the water, crazy. And I mean the entire surface. I had to actually take and move it off to the side to create a little feeding area for the fry, to put a little tiny food in there. And I had to keep doing it in the same place so the fry would know where to come find food. So I decided, I've been thinking a long time about what could I do to get rid of whatever's in the water to solve the green algae. What do you think? I gave you one guess, Stephen. Yeah, mine was so green. I had that one live stream where I showed off that green water tank, and it actually got even greener than that. It was like split pieces. You need some questions. One, where is the tank located? Two, okay, first off, one, the tank is located in a bedroom. All right, the bedroom has only one small window. The door to the bedroom faces no other windows, so no light can get in. The tank is on another wall. The sun does not shine through that window because of the location. We live in a townhouse in an apartment complex, and this is the upstairs. It has an overhang over the window, so the sun doesn't actually come through the window. The blinds are almost always closed. They are metal Venetian blinds, so light does not come through them. Let's say two. What is the substrate? It is a dirted substrate. It has 1.5 inches of dirt and 4 inches of sand cap, at least 4 inches of sand cap. It is a planted tank. I have plants planted in the substrate. I had floating plants. I had duckweed, frogbit, and hornwort, along with jungle vow and a few other. There's Amazon sword. I had some corkscrew vow that died off. I lost a lot, probably about half of all the planted plants that were planted in the substrate. Most of my mosses died off. Did I add fertilizers? I was for a while, and then I stopped probably about 2 months ago. Petsodics, how you doing? Okay, so Stephen, yes, I did one thing. And I'll tell you, So, Steven, I did something. Like I said, my thought was I needed to take whatever was in the water column out to get rid of the green algae. The water changes is not the answer because I did a lot of water changes and that didn't help. It's just a fun game, Stephen. I rolled things around in my head for a long time before I tried this, and it was almost too simple. I know it's just something that my first green water tank. I treated it very differently. I blasted it with light, and I put plants in it, and I was able to overcome the green algae. That didn't work for this tank. So I think it's amazingly simple, um, and at the same time, I want to see if I can repeat it. I want to see if it'll work again. But at the same time, my experiment is not done yet because once I stop doing this, is the green water going to end up just coming back? The nitrates and nitrites were very, very low. I think you and I talked about this before, that the water column, and I know we went into the I know you and I have went into that it truly couldn't be these numbers, and I understand that. Okay, I don't want to argue that one, but it was extremely low. My test said 0. Okay, so I know it wasn't truly 0, but let's just say that they were extremely low. But the green water was still persistent. I mean, just horribly persistent. Yes, hat trick, you're 100. uh, do tell. I just want Stephen to just take one simple guess. It's a simple thing that every fish keeper's heard of. I don't think they've ever heard of this for fixing green water. I'm saying this has worked one time for me. I want to make that a point. This has worked one time for me. Is that solid evidence that it will always work? No. I would like to see it get that trick. I would like to see this repeated multiple times to see if it would be a viable solution, Stephen. Okay. Um, and I understand that. Nope, not ultraviolet light. But hey, that's a good guess because I actually considered hooking up an ultraviolet system to see if it would work. Okay, so since you guessed, I took a filter sock. I put 3/4 of a cup of activated charcoal in it and put it in my hang-on back filter. 4 days. Green water's gone. Everybody's heard of activated charcoal. And it's so simple because what does it do? It takes the nasty stuff out of the water. You use it to take medication out of the water. You use it to take nitrates and nitrites out of the water. That's why I did it. I had this big old thing that I bought off Amazon. I've had it around for a while now, and of it, and so I just put a bunch in a filter sock and dropped it in there. One day, no change. Second day, no change. Third day, it was like, oh my goodness, I could see halfway through the tank. Black lights and yes, that was all I did. That, and every time I did something, I only changed one thing. I only did one thing at a time, and then I would wait, and I'd wait. I would try it sometimes for weeks, see if there was a difference, and no change. But I saw dramatic improvement on day number 3, and I mean dramatic. You went from seeing 1 or 2 inches into the fish tank that I could see halfway through the fish tank, And then day 4 today, I can see all the way through the back glass. There's still a haze in the water, but it's not that bad. But yeah, that's it. it Now, Stephen, I also know, and you're probably thinking this, what happens when I take the activated charcoal out of the hang-on bat? And that's a good question. That's what I want to find out will happen also. And so tomorrow will be day 5, and I think tomorrow I want to go ahead and remove it, and I'm going to save that. I'm going to put it in a little bowl, that activated charcoal, because it's not used up. I mean, that's a lot of activated charcoal. There's a good 3/4 of a cup or a cup's worth of activated charcoal that I put in that tank. Um, uh, yeah, it's one of those things that, yeah, I wanted to come on and talk about it. Has anybody else done that? I mean, you, the common themes are wrap the tanks, lights out, cover the tank. Um, a lot of that water changes, and I get that. That's everywhere. Um, but if I can repeat these results, but I need to get another tank, and I think I have another tank completely, green water stable. It's been green water now for a month, but I don't consider that stable yet. And see, I want my other plants to be able to uh, thrive in that tank, which will keep the green water away, um, not allow the nutrients in the water to build to such a level that green water will thrive again. But I had to get rid of the green water to begin with in this tank. Um, if I wasn't, I mean, it is a planted tank, and I've lost a lot of plants, but there's going to be more going into it. Um, so, I want the other plants to do their jobs, get the nutrients they want, and not allow the levels of nutrients in the tank to get to a level where green water will be a problem again. But yeah, I found it kind of exciting. I did it with a bag of activated charcoal. I don't know. I can't be the first one that's ever done that. Um, if it truly is a solution that would help green water tanks, that you don't want to be green water. Um, Now, having a green water tank, is kind of neat. I still have that 10-gallon, but I don't want to kill that one and then not have any green water left over. I'm trying to think of a way that I can set up maybe some kind of small test tanks somehow. Um, Make a small dirted tank that will, with some snails and algae growing and everything like that, green water, and have it just a rampant green water, and then test that tank. Try it again. Um, but yeah, David, I know the basic idea behind it is the activated charcoal took the nutrients out of the water, and like I said, this is just the basics. That was feeding the green algae, and when that was gone, the algae died off. Yeah, why it stopped? Because you have to change the activated charcoal again. Because activated charcoal doesn't last forever. I mean, it can only take so much out of the water before it can't take anything more out of the water. But like I said, when I take that little bag out, what's going to happen to the tank? You know, But the fact that the only thing, and I did not do a water change right before. I mean, the before I put the activated charcoal in there, I think I had done a water change 2 weeks before that. I do not do weekly water changes. I don't. I like to do maybe once a month. Okay, if I have to do it more than once a month with my planted tanks, I think I'm doing it too much. Um, so yeah, uh, so far what I've done hasn't been exactly scientifically, Steven. You know, I didn't document it because I got tired of documenting. Hey, Ian, how you doing? Welcome to the interesting conversation of green water and planted tanks. Oh, but yeah, Stephen, I would love to repeat this and see how it would fare in another tank in another situation. See if I get similar results and maybe even document it. Photos, excuse me, photos, videos, all that. Mm, yep. Yeah, and I know that, Stephen. I'm very aware of that, but I also want the I want it to be a very healthy and very thriving planted tank. So having the nutrients in the tank, is what I want. But I want it to be at a level where my my plants that I want to grow will use it, and not the algae. And it won't build up to a level where the algae will take over. I'm talking green water algae. Now, if I get like algae growing on something, that's okay. Um, that's fine. In fact, I got some rocks in the 60-gallon tank that has got beautiful blackbeard algae and this green spot algae that has got really big. It doesn't get to be long because of the fish like eating it, but it's beautiful. I love it. It's growing on some of the wood. It's growing on some of the rocks. Love it. So hopefully that I can get to this tank, all the other plants growing. So yeah, once I take that bag of charcoal out, like I said, tomorrow will be day 5. Uh, will it give me like a week of nice? Well, I shouldn't say clear water. It's still got a little bit of haze to it, um, and that's to be expected. Um, but how fast will that green water come back? If it comes back, will the other plants start taking off and really growing and using the nutrients before the algae will start back up and causing the green water problem or not? So there's a lot of what ifs right now. I may have to, put that activated charcoal right back in it. But that's enough activated charcoal to run on my 60-gallon tank for a month. But I don't run activated charcoal in the 60-gallon tank. I've never had to. I was able to get the plants in it and going by the time the algae started growing. I got a green algae bloom maybe for a week, and then it was gone. But it was never this bad. Then the question becomes, how and why does it balance the tank out? Yeah, I need to find the source of it. I mean, the algae is there in the water. It's just that if you have the excess nutrients that the green algae needs, now I know you know this, Stephen. I'm kind of just telling you my knowledge, and you can fill in blanks. But if the nutrients that are there that allow it to really thrive, and then it's going to thrive. Um, but if the other plants, such as my frog bit, my jungle val, my I think I have some Amazon sword, red melon. There's a couple others. Uh, I have got this really bad tickle in the back of my throat right now. I apologize, guys. Sorry about that. I'm outside, and I don't know if there's just something in the air tonight or whatever. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, if the nutrients can be used by all my other plants to keep it down to a level that the green algae can't grow, then I won't have to run activated charcoal. So I did not actually fix the problem, Stephen, and that's what I am thinking. I didn't actually fix the problem. Okay, so if I had a gravel bottom tank, I mean, I would have gravel backed it really heavily and stuff like that. Uh, that would have been some of the things I did, but I have a dirted tank, so I know there are nutrients that are leaching out. Though how fast I think is pretty slow considering the thickness of my sand cap. But then my hey Muppet, how you doing, buddy? I think the snails that I'm breeding in the tank and everything like that is what was really driving the nutrient level in the water up. So, Stephen, I think between the fish and the snails was actually really driving it up, and I think it's the secondary cause of the nutrients would have been leaching from the dirted tank through the sand cap. Um, that and some of the decaying plant matter because some of the plants were dying because of the green water was also feeding it. I think that was probably another secondary. I figured that's where you were going, Stephen. That's why I answered it. Yeah. So, um, I was using a organic uh, potting mix um, from I think Miracle-Gro. I think Miracle-Gro was the brand name. I picked it up from Lowe's. Hold on, I actually have some extra behind the swing. I was storing the extra. Yes, organic potting mix. I made sure it was the organic from Miracle-Gro. But I'm not kidding you. The sand cap is about that big above the dirt. It's like an inch and a half at most. I doubt that it's this much, but at most it might be 2 inches of dirt. And I did add a layer of coconut husk between the dirt and the sand cap, so that the dirt wouldn't be too moist. That the coconut husk. Once I got all the mud in there, I put the coconut husk down to help dry it out before I added the sand on top, so that way there wouldn't be a bunch of nutrients immediately just being pushed up into the sand. And when I put the sand down, I put a thin layer down to see if it would become wet, and it really didn't wet the sand, so I knew it was okay there. Now I do know that the dirt is alive and active with the microorganisms. You could probably tell me what they are. I don't know because yeah, I do see bubbling every once in a while come out of the substrate. Um, all my dirted tanks do that, including my 60-gallon tank. So I know that the dirt is live and active, as I'll put it. I know it's not the actual dirt; it's all the microorganisms. But so I know you're basically telling me, Stephen, that I have not actually solved my problem. No, I solved the problem of the excess nutrients in the water column. Now, have I solved the problem with causing the excess nutrients? I'm going to say no, though I have taken steps to solve it, which was I did actually remove a lot of snails. I wanted to keep a lot of snails alive. I mean, that was one of my goals is I wanted some snails for, one or two reasons, but I removed a lot of the snails out of that tank, and I removed a lot of the fish except for 5 fry. Uh, so there's that as well to consider. But if I run across any more threads where people are having a bunch of issues, I might throw that out of. I'm gonna have nitrates for days. You don't think that I already know that? Yeah, I need to get my plants, all the other plants really. I don't want to say settled in. Okay, to where their roots are going, their leaves, start going, and they start really putting off new leaves and everything. To where when they really start growing, I'll know that they're using the nutrients and it's not the algae in the water using it. Um, you know, and I'll get some other algae in that tank. Uh, Naturally, it's already there. It just needs to start growing. Probably, I have blackbeard algae in all my tanks. It's a thing with the water around here because of the phosphates. So I look forward to getting, in fact, the hang-on back filter I took off of another tank, which already has some algae growing on the outlets, and so I'm just letting that grow down into the tank, and um, you know, it's part of my planted tanks. I'm gonna have algae. I'm gonna have other plants. That's just the way it is. Yeah, Steven. But I tell you what, I really had fun to think that, hey, it was as simple as activated charcoal that helped get rid of my green water. Now, if I thought that that was the end all and I'm done, go ahead and shoot me. You can shoot me. But yeah, to think that it was just all of a sudden, it's like, I wonder if this is crazy enough to work, and it did. I can now get all the other plants established in that tank and going like I've done in other tanks, but unfortunately the green water took over too fast in this tank, and all the other plants did not have a chance. So now I can give my plants a chance to get going and do what they need to do. Oh yeah, I'm kind of happy that this yeah, yeah, just add some activated charcoal. But Steven, I didn't actually solve the problem yet. Getting the other plants established will solve the problem. Or, I don't know, getting rid of a dirted tank would solve the problem. That's not what I want. I don't want to get rid of a dirted tank. It's in there to grow plants. It's just unfortunate unfortunately, I didn't want to grow the green water. I didn't want to grow the single cell algae. That's not the plant that I wanted to establish. It obviously must be a pretty healthy condition for plants to grow, or the green algae wouldn't be growing. And yeah, I'm gonna keep snails in there still. I just I just need to find that balance, and the balance will come. It'll just take some time. You know, I don't know if there's anybody else streaming tonight. I hope I'm not stepping on their toes or anything like that. I just thought I'd jump on because I have not done a live stream in it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. This wasn't planned up. I didn't put a script together. I just I'd like to do a live stream, and I'm gonna do it on my green water tank. It's just what come to mind. Yeah, I have. I still need to get a microscope, Stephen, because I am sure there, and I would love to have more tests that I could test the water for uh, other stuff that I just don't have. Um, I think it would be kind of fun to document more, um, but unfortunately, I don't have that ability right now. Uh, yes, uh, too healthy. You got that right. It was healthy environment for plants. Too healthy. So I just knocked its healthiness level down a little bit for a little while. I my I don't want to have to keep putting activated charcoal in there, but it did solve the problem that I was having about allowing my other plants to get established, and that's the problem that I have solved, is allowing my other plants to get established. I'm sorry, I've kind of got some weird lighting in because the light's coming down this way, and I've got a lot of shadows over here. The camera's backwards. I keep going, from when I look at the camera, I want to raise my hand. The shadow, no, it's over here. Um, uh, but we're gonna see what happens. If I can't quite get the plants established, before the green water comes back too harshly, I can always put some activated charcoal back in for a little bit, take it back out. I don't want to starve my other plants. I just want to keep it down to the level that will not allow the green water to get a foot in the door like it did last time. You know, I shouldn't say foot in the door. It come bursting through the door full force before anything else had a chance. Yeah, getting a microscope opens a wide variety of doors. I was looking at all kinds of things about, to be able to do gram staining, acid fast staining, or acid fast tests, and all kinds of stuff to start, identifying different bacteria, like when I was in my microbiology class in college and everything. I still got several microbiology books and all kinds of stuff. Uh, but it would also be interesting to look at some of that algae that I have. Um, Steven, I heard one of the most ridiculous things in a live stream about a month ago. Uh, Somebody thought it was proof that you had a toxic tank if you had Blackbeard algae, because why would algae be black unless it was toxic and it was a terrible tank? I was just like, I think I'm gonna stop watching that live stream. I was playing around on YouTube and found that, and I was listening in, and they started talking about it, talking about Blackbeard algae, and yeah, why would algae be black unless it was, there was something toxic in that tank, and you got problems, and it's like, uh, yeah, I kind of figured that you'd get a lot of stuff sent to you, but I'd like to be able to set up and identify it myself, and uh, really. Steven, I lost your email address. I was going to send you an email at one time, and I lost your email address. But I was on Amazon, and there's a couple different brands. I would like to get one that uses uh, the. I'm going to say this wrong because I forget the right term. All of a sudden, it eludes me. But you know the oil lens. Yeah, your comment just popped up, Steven. Yes, a toxic tank because of Blackbeard algae. That's what the algae is black because it's a toxic tank. Yeah. uh, it was quite hilarious to me. I didn't say anything, but it was quite hilarious to me. I was just, and by the end of, I was just shaking my head. It's like this guy actually believes that. I thought it was a joke at first. Uh, but yeah, I'd like to get. I was looking at a microscope that it could do up to 2000x with the oil immersion lens. That's what I was trying. I had to say it right to get it out of my head. I don't know why. With an oil immersion lens. And then there was one other that I think it would do 2500x. I think that's kind of pushing it, really. I don't know if you could really get 2500x very good or not. Um, but yeah. Uh, and then I was looking at right at about the level. It was like, before you get into oil immersion, it was about 1000x, and then once you got into oil immersion, I get a 2000x. And I don't remember. Yeah, yeah, I know. I know, Steven. I know. Blackbeard algae. Oh, but yeah. I also think that me getting a good microscope with my daughter's my oldest daughter is now in 8th grade, and so I'm sure it will help with her science as she progresses through high school as well. Um, I need to start looking at these microscopes again and see if there's any of them out there. I thought about getting one with a camera, but boy, when you do that, the price just skyrockets. I mean, like doubled in price. I think the one I was looking at was about $250 microscope with an oil immersion lens. I think it was 2000x. Um, it had two different light sources. Of course, you had the traditional light source underneath. It was dimmable. Plus, it also had the oh, I forget what that's called. Well, anyway, it also had a light that would shine on top. It had another light on the arm of the microscope that would shine down as well, so you could turn them off. Oh, really? I haven't heard about microscope with special glasses to use. I don't know anything about those microscopes. That sounds interesting. I learned a little bit about the uh, electron scanning microscopes and everything because of my, medical studies. I got to see some really cool pictures of some viruses that were only possible because of electron scanning microscopes. Yeah, I also learned how to use in my microbiology class. I learned how to use my camera on my phone to be able to take pictures so that I could put it in my papers that I was writing because my teacher said that hey, if you can add pictures, that will be helpful in when we did identification. We would get an unknown sample and we had to identify it through a precise procedures that were laid out for us. So we had to fill out the procedure paperwork, which is about, I don't know, I think it was like 4 or 5 pages long. And then we had to write up a paper, and the pictures that we took would go a long ways with the proof that of the procedures that we did, which could actually improve our grade. Because if we would see any kind of anomalies without picture proof of that, they wouldn't be taken into consideration. So that was kind of nice. 3D image. Oh my goodness. 3D images. That's crazy. That's probably been about, let's see, I think it was 2 years ago when I did my microbiology class. But a lot of stuff that we learned in microbiology, really went over into my studies as a CST. Uh, but yeah. Uh, so, Stephen, do you think, given between the two options, do you think I would need to go above 1000x for? I'm just worried about the clarity that I would be able to achieve with a non-oil immersion lens at 1000x versus being able to use an oil immersion lens for identifying like bacteria. What's your thoughts? Should I go ahead and uh, spend the extra money to get a 2000x setup? I think it had 4 objective lenses, and then I think it was either 2 or 3 different eyepieces that I could use. And with the oil immersion, the different eyepieces, I think I'd have to go back and look. but it was kind of interesting because I think it was the oil immersion lens was 100, and I think you could use a 10x eyepiece on it, and then I think it had a I think it had a 4x eyepiece, 10x eyepiece, and a 20x eyepiece, so you could actually use the oil immersion lens. For 5 minutes? Really? Oh my. Hmm. I might be wrong on those, the objective lenses, but like I said, I have to go back and take a look at it. I think it was about 200, let's say $250 for the microscope. Yeah, it's not really lab grade, but I didn't want to spend $800 to $1,000 for a lab grade microscope, especially if it's just kind of a hobby thing. It would be kind of nice, but I don't have that kind of money. I really don't have the money for for a microscope, but I might be able to convince the wife with the tax return to let me spend $250. Hmm. Well, I don't know if I could send you a. Well, I could go ahead and. I know there's a delay here in the from when you type in the chat and when I get to see it, but uh, I'll give you a moment here if you're ready to write it down. But I'll give a moment, or if I see you're ready, um, I'll give you my email address. Unfortunately, I'm on my phone. Well, let's see here. Hold on. I wonder if I can put it in. Oh wait, I can put it in the comment here. Post a comment. Here we go. There's my email address right there. Like I said, I'm just kind of curious about my fish tanks. And sometimes I would like to find out about maybe if I take a sample of my green algae. I know that wouldn't take a really powerful microscope to do that, but what about bacteria in my water column? Would I be able to find bacteria in my water column? If I get a dead fish, could I take swabs of it, find out if there's a bacteria that the fish have? that has attacked the fish. Like if I see a spot on it or something like that that I can't identify normally. Like I've had some fish in the past that I saw a red stripe go from one gill over to the other gill. See if I couldn't take a sample of that bacteria. I probably need to figure out some kind of way for a what do you call it? I want to say growth chamber, but hot box. I don't. Another thing, my mind is not working right now. So I could keep it at 37 degrees Celsius to grow the bacteria on culture plates. Um, try to isolate the different bacteria because I know I'll probably get a broad range at first, but being able to isolate it. Uh, all the different, boy, you'd think I'd never take a microbiology class. Oh my goodness. Can't even think of the name. Yeah. Yeah, when I had some fish mysteriously die, and I couldn't identify why. And that would have been time where I would have, taken samples and tried to see what I could culture and see if I couldn't identify anything and try to separate that out from the natural bacteria that also, that will live in the intestines and on the fish and in the water. Um, start testing first off, the natural bacteria that I'll find in a fish tank. And, and if I get a culture of something that I don't normally find, then I could say, hey, this isn't normally present. I know that's kind of a simplified explanation, but the first thing would be to start taking them samples in my fish tank. Of my normal fish tanks that are doing just fine with no problems. I would say no disease, but that's not a reality. There's always bacteria and disease in there, but and you can't get around that. A fish cannot live in a sterile environment. Fish can't live in sterile water. Hmm. Yeah, I imagine I'd have a lot of fun there. And also with taking pictures and documenting and everything like that and putting it in my computer and putting it in files and I can make up a lot of Word documents about the different bacteria that I find in a normal tank, and then I would be able to eliminate that when I look through something that is problematic. Going, oh, that's a normal bacteria. Well, this bacteria isn't something that's normally found. So what if it's not a bacteria problem? What if it's a fungal problem or something? I take a sample and I find a fungus that I don't normally find, I'd be able to identify that and treat that problem because I'm not exactly sure that one tank that I had a major problem with, without any real evidence. I think it was either fungal or bacterial, and I'm leaning towards it was a fungal infection. Um, because of something that I saw in the tank that I couldn't identify, but it looked like some kind of clear. It looked like the body of a jellyfish, seriously, that grew. It didn't move around the tank. It was growing on something. But that's what led me to think that it might be a fungal infection. I don't think that it was uh, I just talked about this about 2 hours ago. Um, when bacteria gets together and they actually create a manes, tails, fins, and furs. How you doing, Jeff? Yeah, it does sound fungal, but I treated the tank with antifungals and it didn't help. Fish are still dying after a week and a half of continuous treatments, and so that's why I had to tear that tank down because it got too bad. Something got in the tank. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It could have been a parasite. Oh, Jess, I'm doing pretty good. Oh, the other thing is, Jess, you're having a problem with your water? What's going on with your water, Jess? What kind of issues are you from? Yeah, I was at work today, Jess. I unfortunately didn't get to see your stream. I don't know anything about it. And right there, that's another reason, Stephen, why I would want to have a microscope if I start having another problem again. Even if I don't have a problem, I think it'd be fun to start documenting all the different bacteria and everything that I find, and even maybe take samples down in my substrate and take it like at 1 inch intervals, like 1 inch down, 2 inches down, 3 inches down, 4 inches down, and find out what kind of bacteria cultures I can pull out of there to see the different bacterias that are thriving at the different levels that are contributing to the health of my substrate. Yes, and the interesting thing is when you get bacteria that will, uptake the different strains of DNA and everything like that to add to its own to create different strains of a bacteria family. Well, Jeff, I'd be able to maybe take some of my microbiology that I learned in college and maybe put it to some good use in another field besides medical that I do now. And I was talking to Steven that about I'd like to get a microscope, and then I was looking at all these other things that I'd need to get, and I was just but I think Steven has convinced me that to go ahead and buy a microscope. And Steven, if you send me an email, I might take some send you the screenshots or links to the microscopes that I'm looking at and maybe get your opinion of, yeah, that might be a decent one, as no or no, stay away from that one, because, I don't use one professionally right anymore, but you might help steer me to something that would be good for a hobbyist. Like I said, I can't afford a lab grade, but, Jess, I'd love to hear more about what problems that you're having. Tell you what, if you guys can give me about 2 minutes, I will be right back, okay? I'm going to go grab me something to drink. It might take me a little more than 2 minutes. I hope you don't leave me, okay? I'm going to mute the microphone so that my kids are going on and on. And it is cold out here. Oh. Okay. Jess, Steven, and whoever else is here. You probably remember that Catfish Terry was going to send me something in the mail. Well, this is the first time I'm showing it on air. Yeehaw. I got a Catfish Terry mug. It's actually got both sides. It's got a picture. It needs to be a picture of Catfish Terry saying, "I am legend." And then, of course, you know, sometimes coffee isn't strong enough. I got something a little stronger. Thank you, Muppet. I know, it is a nice mug. I really appreciate Catfish Terry sending me this. He's been a wonderful friend, that I ran across accidentally. A little stronger and something to warm me up. So glad I ran across his channel and stuck around and hung out with you guys and really enjoyed it. Like he says, sometimes it's like hanging out on the back porch or front porch with a bunch of friends and just here to talk about anything. We're twins now. Well, fill your cup up, Jess, and cheers. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, it's great to see all of you here tonight, too, especially for a little nobody like me. I never believed a year ago that I would ever be streaming on live, on YouTube Live or anything like that, but, you know, um, I enjoy it. Life's just been pretty hectic the last couple of months. Oh, today I got my second vaccine. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know if YouTube is still like, oh, we can't say that. Uh, if you're into computers, I got a little term, I'll call it. How about human malware? Ah, there you go. uh, well, that's interesting, Stephen. Uh, wow, that's awesome, Jeff. 30. That is really cool. I get I get excited when I see about 8. But it's easy to love Jeff more than me. Uh, you know. So here's to you, Jeff. Hopefully you'll double that number to 60. Mm. I can't really show much, but there. I'm drinking something that is in this. Like I said, it's cold out here. It's like, I don't know. It is below freezing. I'm surprised that I'm streaming this long. My phone battery is doing pretty good. You're having problems with the email, Steven? You didn't happen to get mine, did you? Because I don't know. Well, I'm sorry to take away from Kev. What do you mean, whatever, Jess? You only hit 60 people. You're the kind of person that everybody loves to listen to and talk to. Don't deny it. We all know it's true. uh, oh yeah, the resistant strains. I love that because all of the strains that you do take out with your medications leaves behind only the resistant strain that happens to be like maybe one, and then it starts breeding because it doesn't have any more competition, and then all you're left with is the resistant strain. We deal with that in medicine all the time. And it's one of the reasons why antibiotics is they're being so stringent on antibiotics because of all the resistant strains that have popped up. Some of the higher level antibiotics that can be prescribed is done so sparingly because they don't want they're trying to minimize the chances of a resistant strain to the antibiotic. Excuse me. Hey, that's cool, Ian. Send me a plate my way. I'm getting a little hungry. No. We had some roasts today. My wife made a roast in the crock pot with some carrots and potatoes and onions. And, oh, yeah. Had a good dinner. Just have to show off a beautiful cup. But, hey, I appreciate everybody being here. Ian, Muppet, Jess, Steven. I don't know if Pet Sonic is still hanging around. I know, Muppet. It's great. Ooh. Mm. Our topic went from green water and planted tanks to microbiology and getting a microscope and identifying different strains of bacteria, and you never know what's going to come up in these streams. Oh, I got 8 likes now. Wow, I'm moving up in the world. Oh my. It says I have 5 viewers right now. I don't know. I think the stream I had the most viewers, I think I might have hit 12 for about a minute. uh, but yeah, topics of conversation could really range from one thing to another. No, I don't have anything to write down your email, Stephen, so I hope you was able to get mine. A local vet. Wow, that's pretty amazing, Maines. I've tried to catch you and Chuz, but most of the time you do it when I need to get to bed. So it's awfully hard for me to get into some live streams. Either I'm at work or I need to be asleep. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it's 9:38 my time right now, and usually I go to bed, by 10 o'clock. Because if I have to work the next day, I got to get up at 4. That only leaves me 6 hours of sleep. Um, oh, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. Stephen, if you just want to say, "Hey, it's me," and then send an email my way, I would appreciate that. So that way I can put you in my contacts on my phone. And that's one of the many emails. I say many. I mean it. I've got 5 emails that come to my no four emails that come to my phone. Oh, yeah. I'll have to go look for your email address, Steve, or your email. It hasn't come through on my phone yet. Well, at least it hasn't said it that I've got a new one yet. That's the best part, Ian. When you're done cooking, you gotta eat it. I just hope it tastes good. What? No, you're probably too busy eating to tell me what you cooked. Hopefully, it's not just macaroni and cheese. Uh, if I start getting a little silly, you'll know why. Cheeseburgers. I like doing cheeseburgers on the charcoal grill. I did that last weekend. Oh, they were good. Why do I think about the song Cheeseburger in Paradise? Oh, man, if I didn't have On Call Sunday, uh, I'm on call at the hospital 24 hours starting Sunday morning at 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to Monday morning, 7 a.m. And then I work my normal shift on Monday. So I'll be leaving bright and early Sunday morning and probably won't get home until Tuesday, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got tomorrow off. And I'd like to do some grilling, but I really don't have anything to grill. If I feel good enough, maybe tomorrow I might go to the store and get something. A spoon burger. What? Spoon burger, is that like Hamburger Helper? Probably not. uh, we have some burgers. And, I don't know. I should look in the freezer. Maybe I have some more salmon I can smoke. That would be good. Hmm. Maybe I should pick up a steak. What do y'all think? Should I find a steak, a couple steaks tomorrow, put them on the grill and smoke them? I got a big old charcoal grill, and got a bunch of charcoal, and I got some wood, and I could smoke them. Uh, Comments are passing me by. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh man, Jeff. Yeah, smoked salmon. Yeah. I like to go to Aldi. Uh, I actually like their salmon. I really do. It's a really good price. You'll find it in the freezer, and it doesn't. I don't think it's been colored either. Dyed. A lot of some of the. I shouldn't say a lot. Wrong words. Some of the salmon that you'll find out there, uh, they do that. They dye it so it looks better. And the stuff that I get from Aldi is not dyed because when you cook it, that red tint it goes away right away, and it has a wonderful flavor. You smoke it and just a little bit of salt, and it's just so good. Oh, I'm sorry. The microphone on my headphones that I'm using must not be very good. I would like to buy a better microphone. I got one of mine, but it's $60 just for the microphone, and I don't know if I could justify that with a wife quite yet. That's a lot of money to spend on just a microphone. So I've got these headphones, and yeah, hopefully someday I might get them. Be a lot better sound than these headphones. I went back and listened to what I sound like, and yeah, these headphones aren't the best. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Ian, I understand that the salmon out of the store isn't the same, but my personal favorite, I, and I can't tell you except for it's the taste, is the one from Aldi. Yes, it's frozen, and I get that it's not the same as catching it fresh, but I can. There's nowhere around me to get fresh salmon. Yeah, I live in Indiana. Enough said. It's Indiana. uh, Muppet, you're hilarious. Uh, you and Jess. That's cracking me up. You know what? I came on StreamYard thinking that, now I'm kind of mad at myself. I was thinking about asking if anybody wanted to come up here before I started the stream. I've now been on here for 2 hours, and I have not once asked any of you if you'd like to join me up here. Jeff, Stephen, Muppet, if any of you would like to come up, just say so, and I will shoot out the link. I enjoy reading your comments. I enjoy the fact that you would listen to my voice over this crappy microphone. You know, it's a great time for me, and I really appreciate it. It's very relaxing. I feel like I'm sitting here with friends, and I really mean that, and I really appreciate that you guys would come on here and be active in the chat, talking to each other, talking to me. And if you want to come up here, just say so. I will send out a link. Ian, that would be amazing to catch fresh salmon, cook them up. And I could just imagine cooking them over a wood fire, campfire, some wood under there, a little grate above it, cooking them up, eat them. Oh, that would be amazing. You don't know how much I would love to do something like that. Oops. This is more relaxing, better for the soul to sit around, talk to people. I know I'm just reading comments and you're listening to my crappy microphone. Yeah, one of the fish you can completely eat raw. I've ate raw meat before, Stephen, and you of all people would probably understand this. There's that car again. Sorry, guys. Stephen, you'd probably be one of the people that would understand better than anybody else why I don't think I could do that because of my studies, my training, what I do. I don't think I could do that. Yeah, Ian, don't ask me. I don't know. Oops. I'm kicking the camera stand. I'm sorry. I'm halfway okay at keeping goldfish. I've got an angelfish that's about 6 months old. I'm pretty good at breeding snails. If you're talking about the common pond snail. But I don't know. That's why, Stephen. Okay, I got to highlight that for a moment. Stephen, I think you understand that's why I can't do it. It's not because I know what's really there. It's just because the line of work I'm in. I've actually eaten raw meat before. And it's not because I didn't know what's there, but my studies in microbiology is not what sealed the fate. It was my studies when it comes to surgical technology, my studies in surgical pharmacology. I think it was those two right there combined is when I realized the damaging effects that can happen from the microorganisms in the world around us when they enter the body. Um, I'm trying not to say too much. I don't know. It's also one of those things that it would be an experience, even though that I would know things, I might be willing to do it anyway. Oh, pardon me, guys. It's getting close to 10 o'clock, which is when I normally go to bed. I love my job. I love what I do. Um, like today, man, I had a surgeon that I had to take crap from. I I can't really talk about it, but I had to take crap from a surgeon that just it pissed me off, and I couldn't show it, and it just it was just one of those things that sometimes it makes me think it's why do I do this, but yet I know why I do this. I'm helping people, and I love what I do, even if a surgeon gives me crap. But the idea sometimes of living life overrules my knowledge of um, things that I've studied, my practices that I do in the medical field. Makes me think that sometimes you just got to do it. Wait a minute, I missed something, chat. What did you already order? Ian, what did I miss? What did you order? Oh, the Steel Blues. Ooh, what's this you said, Steven? Ever seen Monsters Inside of Me? Is that on like a Hulu or something, Steven? Sorry, I was talking. I wasn't reading chat. I'm sorry, guys. You guys want to come up here and join me? Let's see. How do I do this? Um, how do I? There. Now, if any of y'all want to come up here and make this chat sound intelligent, well, it won't be hard. Sometimes I don't feel like it takes much to make a It doesn't take much to be more intelligent than me. You're all welcome to come up. Dang, Ian, that sounds like a pretty cool. Can all of that live in the same tank, Ian? Green tiger barbs, wild betta, jellyfish. Oh my goodness. Man. Okay, I think I've officially drank more than this than some people drink wine. But I don't get to enjoy stuff like this very much, especially when I work. Yeah, 15 tanks. Someday when I have a house, I'm going to have a lot more tanks than just 4. But I've also thought about what could I put in with a goldfish tank? My kid's goldfish tank seems a little sparse. Your dream? Jess, you had a dream about zombies? Now I'm listening. Jess, come on up. Come on, tell us about your dream about zombies. I would love to hear. I love hearing wild stuff like this. Stephen, you had 8. Stephen, I forget. Sometimes I forget about what you do, but 83 tanks, 83. That deserves a highlight. Okay, you're the first highlight of the night. Oh. Jess, I dare you. Give me nightmares. I love scary stuff. Dojo loaches. Yeah, I think my LSF has dojo loaches, and I've considered getting them. But okay, so with dojo loaches, they're a bottom feeder, right? Now, my goldfish love going around and scavenging everything off the bottom. Can they really get enough to eat? I guess that was my only concern. But there's that beautiful cup. Beautiful, beautiful cup. Look at that. Yeehaw! I can't say it like Catfish Terry. I'm not that good. Big wiggly worm loaches. I know, but dojo loaches are cool though. They look nice. Jess, the next thing you're going to tell me is that your hair and makeup isn't done and you can't come up with a live stream. Come on, Jess. Just come on up. You know, I will double my views or triple my views if you actually come up here and on my live stream. Yep, you would double my likes. You know that, right? That's probably true for any of you. You'd probably double everything. I'm a little nobody. Oh, yeah. I'm probably getting a little goofy. I probably had a little too much of this amber liquid. I probably need to get a feeding tube. Yeah, I've had to deal with that with my shrimp. Well, I don't use the feeding tube, but I usually put some flakes up there and distract them. Then I drop the pellets down back where the shrimp like to hide out, and so that way they get a feeding time as well. About once a week, give them a good feeding. Jess, that sounds like to you. It sounds like you. Oh, we'll do it next time. I won't even make you wear a hat, unlike Catfish Cherry. You don't have to wear a hat. Although, if you want to wear a Christmas hat, go right ahead. Okay, Ian. Well, Ian, I'm glad that you're hanging around. I appreciate it, man. I hope that you find something entertaining here because I appreciate you being around here. Uh, oh, why anybody want to listen to me in the bathroom? I don't know. Told you I'm getting a little goofy. I wonder how many of you, how many I'm gonna lose because I'm goofy. I told you, can't show that on camera. uh, so, I forgot today when I got my my second vaccine today. You know, Afterwards I thought about what is it, Alka-Seltzer. One of those fizzy tablets. As I'm walking out, pop one in my mouth and have it foam out of my mouth. As I'm leaving the vaccine area. Watch people turn around and walk away. Like, no, no, I'm good. I don't need a vaccine. Uh, Thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. I really do. Uh, oh, I hope you guys find something entertaining here. My stupid sense of humor or something. I probably get more enjoyment out of reading you guys, what you're saying in chat or whatever. Steven, I really look forward to the day you stream, and I hope it's not during work or sleep. Or family time. That pretty much takes up about 23 and a half hours of my day. But today the kids are in there and they're having fun with my wife, so, Friday night. But, a lot of stuff happens with the second vaccine. You probably don't know, but um, a lot of people experience of getting symptoms of being sick 20 to 24 to 48 hours, after the vaccine. So I look forward to being sick for the one day that I'm off. And then, I got a 24-hour on call, which I've got to be at the hospital for, and I'm going to be staying there. And I don't know. I thought about doing a live stream in the hospital. I don't know how well that would go over, but maybe even showing you around a little bit. Yeah, Stephen, I think that you would be really popular if you had, a live stream. People would love to come and see what you have to say and listen to what you talk about. I could definitely see that, Stephen. You've got a lot of knowledge and insight that most people would only dream about. I told you it's close to my bedtime. I'm sorry, guys. Steven, why don't you come up on live stream with me? It's just a click away. It doesn't take much. You can come up here and be entertainment for people. They want to hear that kind of thing. You know that. They would love to hear what you say. Come on, Steven. See, people like Jess are just dying to see you on the live stream. I mean, you're more popular than the cemetery. They're dying to see you. Well, Jess, there would only be HIPAA violations if I show any personal information. So if I don't show you things like our surgery board or stuff like that, I wouldn't be a HIPAA violation. HIPAA. I couldn't show you any surgeries that are happening or stuff like that. It would have to be empty. But yeah, I could show you the boring place where I sleep, my locker room, as long as nobody else is there. And on a Sunday, not always, but sometimes it's quiet and nothing's going on. uh, well, Steven, uh, I have an ugly face. That's, I guess that's my personal opinion. I guess, I've always looked forward to getting gray hair. Well, it's kind of starting on this side, a little on that side. I get those nice gray stripes down my hair. I think I'll like it better, but right now, because of mask fitments for the P100 masks that I wear, in high contagious cases, I've shaved off my goatee. I don't think you could be any uglier than me. I'd be something better to look at than myself. Well, Exotic, you're still around. I'm so glad. I'm glad you're still around, Exotic. I appreciate that. You know, Stephen, that's right. Once you get past the first part, the first hello, I'm nothing special to look at. That's for sure. Um, you know, I guess that my wife looks at me. She wants me to grow my goatee out, but unfortunately, because of the way the mask, it fits over my nose, but it also seals across my chin, so I can't really have my goatee. But normally, I've always had a goatee, but during this time, I've shaved it off so that my masks fit right. Um, I don't think I look like myself at all, and I'm really not anything special, especially in looks department. Sometimes you have to get over that. I have people like you guys that tune into my channel that listen and chat and everything like that, and it's not about what we look at sometimes. It's about the content of the people that are here, and you're one of those people, and you got to realize that, Stephen. It's not about what you look like. The knowledge, the information, and um, uh, the information that you bring to it to advance somebody in their hobby is more important than what you look like. And sometimes it is just about the entertainment, listening to that information, Stephen. And you doing a live stream or coming up on somebody's live stream is invaluable. You have an opportunity to change somebody's life, whether it be through how they do the hobby, starting up the hobby, information that you give them, or whatever. You can really impact somebody. And so you coming up on a live stream or doing a live stream yourself or doing a video is really important sometimes to somebody else's life. It's not always about what you look like or what you perceive yourself as, because there's a lot of people that would appreciate you being here. Now, I was, talking on and on, and I was not reading comments. Pat Sonic, yeah, shy person. I get that. Um, Pat Sonic, sometimes I can be very shy. I'm very self-conscious sometimes about what I look like, but I am who I am, and I'm not a movie star or whatever. I'm not the guy that, and my headphones are telling me they're dying. It's a great time for headphones to say, "Please charge me." Uh, well, if you guys can excuse me for just a minute, apologize. I will be back in just a couple minutes. I have to go find a charger. Excuse me. Then I have to find the all elusive charging cord. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully this is working. I don't know. It might be. Okay, it says it is. Sorry. Probably missed a lot of chat, guys. I'm sorry. I've been going on for almost 3 hours. I am getting pretty tired, though. Oh, man, I'm getting cold out here again. I'd have to actually start feeling warmed up, but after a while, there's only so much you can do. Yeah. Jess is right about that. You need good mods. It's amazing where sometimes the live stream will lead when, I want to talk about green water, and then we end up talking about all kinds of stuff. Jess, I wouldn't say you're nobody. I'm more of a nobody than you are. You can't deny that. I can look at your numbers. I can look at my numbers. Oh my. That's why I can put out my email and nobody will email me. I'm kidding. Steven will have pity on me. He'll email me. You were on Lee's live stream. Oh boy. I bet that was fun, Jess. If we're talking about the same Lee Wilcox, that is. He's a riot. There I go again. Oh. sometimes, Steven, you just got to do the live stream or come up on stream with somebody without even planning it. I don't even have my camera focused or in frame right. Oh, Jess. Man, I'm getting so tired. I have to warn you guys, I'm probably going to have to head off here. With the second vaccine, a lot of times there are some symptoms of being sick, and I plan on being sick all day tomorrow. At least that's what I'll tell my kids, so maybe they'll do everything for me. Maybe they'll get me breakfast and all that good stuff. I'm sick. Even if I'm not sick. Oh my. Kenny banned Lee. Oh no. You don't have to repeat it, just the idea. That sounds so much like Lee. He would say something so ridiculous and stupid. Uh, oh, yeah. Lee, Fatherfish, Fatherfish and Lee. No. Oh my. Uh, what time is Redfish, Bluefish? What time are they going to be on? No. I'm sorry to hear that, Jess. I've missed so much. I don't know what is going on with Fatherfish and you or anything. I'm sorry. He's live streaming during times that I'm not able to watch him, so I apologize. I'm sure if I was watching him like I used to, that I would understand, but I don't right now. I'm not going to ask because I'm not sure that you want to divulge that information. Yeah, they're on at 11. It's 10:33 here right now, and I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open, guys. It's really a strain just to read your comments anymore. Yeah, guys, I still like the what do you want to say? The vision that Catfish Terry has is, we just hang out, try to have a good time, sit back, chat, relax. Oh, Steven, you haven't seen Redfish, Bluefish? Huh. Oh, tonight's a good night for you to check it out. Unfortunately, I'm going to be sleeping. I have one day off before 24 hour plus an 8-hour shift. So, I don't know, guys. You think this might be a good time to end the stream? I am looking forward to a nice warm bed, a pillow, and maybe tomorrow morning I can get up and con the kids into making me breakfast for a change, huh? What do you think? Should the kids make me breakfast? I think I want bacon. No, eggs. Egg sandwich. I love egg sandwiches. Well, I haven't seen Ro's name in a while. I haven't seen Ro in a while. Is Ro, is she okay? I hope. I got the frog bit and everything from Ro, so I also got the snails from Ro, too. Egg sandwich with bacon, yes. That's a breakfast right there. Egg and bacon sandwich. I'm telling you guys. Yeah, Steven. I'm not going to say anything. Oh, sometimes things start out with good intentions and they don't end very well, Steven. And Steven, yeah, go check out Redfish, Bluefish. I think I've had a little too much happy juice. But guys, I appreciate you being here tonight. It was great talking with you. Loved reading your chats. Thank you so much for being here. And uh, I've got to get to sleep sometime tonight. And the kids cook me breakfast. I don't know. Jess, would I live after eating what they cook? That's the real question. Oh my. And just to clarify something, Jess, the vaccine, you're not going to too much happy juice. You're not getting injected with any part of the virus. So I don't know if I should really talk about it or not, but you're not actually getting injected with the virus. You're actually getting injected with the RNA, a protein strand that recreates the um, words fail me receptor. Excuse me. That recreates the receptor of the virus. Okay, so it's not the actual virus. It's actually a protein strand that creates the receptor, which your immune system can identify and attack. And so when the virus actually attacks you, that uh, receptor that your immune system has been so-called programmed to respond to is already active, and it can attack and resist the virus. Uh, but they simulated the protein strand, and that's what you're actually getting injected with is a simulation of that, or they recreated that protein strand, that DNA. And the reason why I'm probably not going to be feeling well tomorrow is because my body's reacting to that protein strand. And so I'm going to feel sick even though that I'm not going to actually have any part of that virus in me. And so that's going to be what's happening to me tomorrow. Sorry, guys. I'm so tired that I can't even hardly read the chat, Stephen. I'm trying to read your comments. Yeah, I probably know too much about the virus. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. I've got to go. I can't quit yawning. My eyes are blurry at best. I wish it was just what was in this cup. Yeah, but it's because my bedtime was 42 minutes ago. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Look forward to in the next time. Hopefully, it won't take so long for me to do a live stream. I appreciate you guys being here. Look forward to talking to you next time. And yeah, I appreciate your guys' best wishes for me to have a good night. And yeah, I hope I feel better soon. I feel pretty good tonight. I hope I feel okay tomorrow. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Hope you guys have a wonderful day tomorrow. And look forward to chatting with you soon. Remember, stay safe, stay legal, have a good time. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye, y'all.